folks watching wherever you happen to be. You are tuned in to session number 291 of the Morning Journal. I'm your host, IMG. We got 7 folks over in the VIP, already warmed up and ready to get into the main part of the conversation. The first prompt, what you see in the background right now, behind all of that chat, is this: which of your achievements give you the most confidence? Which of your achievements give you the most confidence? Opening up the request box for the folks who are over on Spoon. So sometimes we can feign confidence. We can be just kind of cocky and without any evidence to back it up, just feel like we can do whatever. And that'll get you to a certain level. But there is an authentic confidence that comes from having been there before. It's like, I've done this before, I can do it again. Or I've done that, so now I can do this because I've kind of proved to myself through my efforts that I am capable, even if I don't get it right away. Overall, I trust myself because of these things that I've done before. So, which of your achievements give you the most confidence? That is the question right now. So, Ryo Japan, Alex, thank you for being here. Schizo, Misfire, Brian, thank you so much for the likes. Keep those rolling in. And let's see where we are. Boston Gray says, I got my dream job in the railroads and it gives me confidence in my career. So Boston Gray be working on the railroads all live long day. That's awesome. I remember when the only engineer, when somebody said they were engineers, I thought, oh, you drive the train? I didn't even know that there was another type of engineer, and I'm not sure exactly what you do on the railroads, but kudos to you. Project Hunter, Freddie, thank you for joining us. The question we're looking at, which of your achievements give you the most confidence? So Brian says that the achievement that gives me the confidence is being able to make it through the day into the next. So it's day by day. It's like, I made it through yesterday, I can make it through today somehow. If I made it through yesterday somehow, I might be able to make it through today. And I guess if we keep stacking up those days that we make it through, and with some acknowledgement, we might make it through with a little bit more margin. Sometimes we make it through by the skin of our teeth, as they say. And if they say, oh, I made it by the skin of my teeth, I'm like, you need to brush your teeth. Teeth ain't supposed to have skin on it. Yeah, get that film off your teeth. And give yourself some margin. You know, sometimes it's nice to have a nail biter of a day where the outcome is in question until the final seconds. That's kind of stressful. Sometimes you want a blowout where, you up 20 with 5 minutes to go and you got the second string in and you can kind of coast. We need a rest. We need restful victories sometimes. So setting yourself up for a easy win, a restful victory, where you don't have that stress of not knowing, that stress of constantly dealing with the stress of not knowing if you're going to make it. It's okay to be like that sometimes because you got to push yourself, but sometimes you need those days where the win is easy. The wind is at your back. The wind is at your back and you coasting to victory. You can set yourself up for days like that by being a little less ambitious in what you would hope to achieve over the course of a given day, right? Because sometimes we try to pack too many things onto our plate. And then if we can't get them all done, we feel like we've had a failure of a day. But really, you just were unrealistic about what that day could do, how much work you could get done in that day. So just give yourself the grace of a few easy days, a few easy wins. So Hannah is here. Heart of Gemini is here. Welcome in. It's good to see you. All right. So DJ Schizo, working as long as I have lets me know I'm a hard worker at my job today, my day off. So you're happy. So you've proven yourself, you've proven your work ethic by working hard all this time. And now you can enjoy a day off. Seagull, Bubby, thanks for joining us, folks. You came right in the middle of a conversation about confidence and achievements. So let us know which of your achievements gives you the most confidence. It might be a major achievement or a minor achievement. Wins are wins. You must acknowledge them and appreciate them. The kitten of cuteness. So someone anonymously says, hey, my achievement is that I'm still here. For me to even have made it this far counts for something. Maybe that is a testament to your resilience. Bubby says, my achievement that gives me confidence is starting college after a 4-year hardship. Might have been looking a little rough for a minute, like you weren't gonna make it. But now here you are, pursuing the education. Maybe on a little bit different schedule than you anticipated, but nonetheless, you're getting it done. So congratulations. And you know, a lot of times those hardships make us more appreciative. You know, when you go through something, it makes you appreciate what you get. Noble Ancient has joined us. Welcome in, Noble. So the request box is open, and the reason that we use the request box is to kind of keep the conversation focused on the topic at hand and to make sure that I see what everyone has to share. So if you put something in the request box that is not necessarily in keeping with the conversation that we're having at the moment, I may not share it because I don't want to derail the vibe or the conversation and take it in a different direction. We kind of have an intentional path that we go on each day. So sometimes if you share something in the request box, I may not bring it to the room, just not out of, I see it, but we do try to keep, you know, everyone sort of on one accord, specifically in the request box. Now, I don't I'm not hard on the chat. You can say whatever you want in the chat and I can just, you know, let that slide, and maybe other folks in the chat will chime in if the comment is interesting to them. But as for the request box, we try to keep it on point and on topic. So Alexis has joined us. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. We're talking about those achievements that give us the most confidence. Achievements that give us the most confidence. Noble Ancient says, my achievement that has given me the most confidence is starting up Armistice Games in the original first place. Starting my business, getting it going, getting that first title out there. All those milestones that show up when you are on that journey as an entrepreneur, as a creator. Every step can give you confidence. Of course, you know it's not going to be smooth sailing all the time. There's going to be some setbacks, some struggles, but you know that you were able to get it started, and hopefully from there you'll be able to keep it going and keep it growing. Nico, thank you for joining. Noble Ancient, thank you for the first of many likes. Of course, the major things that we don't do them alone. So you had Alexis's support. All right. All right. So among all of the misery and pain, yet I have a message for y'all. You are beautiful and important. So with that, we will go into the next prompt. Oh, wait a minute. Alexis, we got one more before we change over. The achievement that has given me the most confidence is marrying Noble. It's our month anniversary today, and I can say that he has helped me break out of my shell and out of my comfort zone to grow. Out of your shell, out of your comfort zone. I hear you. It's a beautiful thing. Tim says you were going to say that about your hubby. Brian's like, well, congratulations to y'all. I don't know if it was there. I don't know if that was any tone in there. I read that tone. I read salt in that. That probably wasn't even there. I put my own little seasoning on it. Brian was like, nah, that's not how I meant it, G. Oh, man. So what? Y'all looking at what? You said over 10 years? Y'all looking at what? 124 months or some shit like that. Y'all looking at like 124? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna change my username to Morton. Or maybe I should add that emoji. Maybe I should add that emoji to my name tag, a pen and a little salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. All right, let's get ready to go into the next prompt, shall we? So this one, we're talking a little bit about achievements in the first one and confidence. This kind of asks a different type of question. What are you making more difficult than it needs to be? Sometimes there's a win available to us that we won't take. There's a win that's available to us that we won't take. So what are you making more difficult than it needs to be? I said Noble has some sound issues. Please let me know if anyone else is having sound issues. Please make me aware of that so we can see if there's something that I can do on my end, or if it's just a Noble thing. So I'll open up the request box. All right. So what are you making more difficult than it needs to be? What is a win that's out there for you that's out there for the taking that you just don't want to accept it? Don't want to take that W. So seeing my little friend, making it more difficult than it needs to be. Making it more difficult to see your little friend. So Noble says, how is it that you already have 1, 2, 3 likes, G? Well, I got some, normally we have them organic. We get our likes organically throughout the stream, but Brian came through with that, with them GMOs. It's a genetically modified likes. It's okay to ingest the occasional GMO. At this point, I just got to try to get it how I live. We out here struggling. Oh man. So thank Brian for that. Genetically modified L. Yeah, GML. Noble forgot to wear his steel toes. Noble, do you have to wear steel toes in the kitchen, or like safety shoes? Noble's in here barefoot today. Are you barefoot, Noble? Oh man, let's see. Because Tim stepped on them toes and you yelped. Okay. Brian says, the thing that I'm making more difficult than it needs to be is trying to come up with a lesson plan on how to make a money management lesson in an hour and a half while being interesting and fun. Well, yeah. Well, it's worth, it's worth trying to figure out how to keep things like that engaging. So the second person says, another person says Monopoly. And I think the challenging thing is using real money. Cash is sort of a dying, like, by the time your children grow up, I don't even know, like, already people don't use paper money often, So by it being a less concrete thing, getting those numbers kind of in your head, it can be a little weird. Brian says Monopoly takes too long to set up. No, it don't. You set it up in advance. Playing casino games doesn't teach you about money management. It teaches you about probability. It doesn't even have to be cryptocurrency, just the fact that it is numbers in a ledger. So Boston Gray says, what am I making more difficult than it needs to be? Losing weight. I just got to stop snacking, but Doritos taste good, so there's a problem. So Joe VE is here. Welcome in, Jovi. It's good to see you. It's good to see you this morning. We're talking about the things we're making more difficult than they need to be. Boston Gray needs to lay off the Doritos. Miss is like, Doritos are too salty. Clearly, Boston Gray doesn't think so. For Boston Gray, they're just the right amount of salty. So Alexis says, I am making work more difficult than it needs to be. I'm scheduled 4 days a week now, starting this coming weekend, and knowing how my body is after 2 days, I dread 4. Is it 4 days in a row? That's a double up. I know last week you were talking about being more active on your days off, getting more steps in on your days off. And it seems like now you're going to get an opportunity to get more steps in. Low key, the universe was listening. So you want some more steps? You don't want to move at home? Here. You can get paid to move. So going Friday through Monday, that puts you on a similar schedule as Noble, right? So Noble Ancient says the one thing I am making more difficult than it has to be. One thing I'm making more difficult than it has to be is my latest game project idea balanced. I have to put my Pokemon region on hold for a personal project and trade. All right. So y'all go ahead and do me a solid, if you don't mind. Go ahead and drop some green hearts in the chat real quick. If you know, you know. We don't have to get into it. So if I'm reading that right, Noble, you need to put the Pokemon away and work on this other project. So ideas trying to become unbalanced. That's what things do. They tend to want to get unbalanced, right? The tendency of everything is towards decay. It's called entropy. If left alone, everything is just going to deteriorate rapidly. Almost everything will require some upkeep. It's just going to be taken over. So, Jovi says, bringing lunch to work versus buying out, but when I bring my sandwich for lunch by 10 a.m., it's already eaten. It's already eaten at 10. You don't have the restraint to not eat up your lunch. So then you have 2 lunches. You have your lunch that you brought, and then you buy more at lunchtime. Don't eat breakfast. You know, bring 2 sandwiches. Make the sandwich less delicious. make it something that you don't really want, but by the noon you're hungry enough to eat it. You know? Make a sandwich that you don't really like that much, but by the time you know, I guess I'll eat it. Spam sandwich, that's salty. That's salty though, miss. A spam sandwich and a bag of salt and salt chips. Don't even bring the vinegar, just put salt on it. I know I know somebody who used to take a bag of fully salted chips, open them up, put more salt in it, and shake it up. Oh man. Just put salt in some Ruffles too. Yes, Ruffles. Ruffles are the saltiest chip on the planet because the salt getting those ridges. They'll use some more salt in there. Shake them up. How's that pressure? How it's dum 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 dum. Their heart is steady. Their heart don't beat. Their heart goes dum 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 dum. Under pressure. Oh man. Toasted spam and provolone. I hear you. Making difficult. What are you making more difficult than it has to be? More love from my crush and more love from my wife, Tim. So I guess it seems like you are trying to control what someone else does in that. How are you making it more difficult if it's something that they have to do, that they are doing? Baku no Pico. Thank you for joining us. So is Retha still watching? Retha's still, I don't know if she's looking at the chat, but she's still online. Joke Cola is a proto energy drink. It is like, it's just like one of the first iterations of hyper caffeinated beverages. So Retha confirmed, yes, I am here. And the question, for some reason, they want to know what your favorite thing about raising me was. I don't know if you want to answer that. It's too early. Too early to think about all that. But I need to fix the sun is rising and I have curtains open and it's washing me out. All right. Joey's like, Miss is playing hard to get. Miss is playing easy not to get. You gotta, it's a fine line between hard to get and easy not to get. All right, let me fix this lighting. Oops. So you be hard to get, then easy not to get, lonely chick. Oh man. So whole time we talking about this, Noble is doing a diatribe about caffeinated beverages. I love it. All right. I think we can all agree that sometimes we don't necessarily take the path that is most likely to help us succeed. Sometimes we feel like we need to add, we're hardaholics. We always want to add complexity where it doesn't need to be. Life is complicated as it is without our help. And sometimes we overcomplicate things or make things more difficult just as a way of procrastinating. So Retha says, very independent and strong will. What he wanted to do, he accomplished, so very easy to raise. That's what Retha said. And Tim just put a whole bunch of awls in the chat. All right. So let's get ready to go into the next question. If we're ready to do that. Tim says, I hope my mother feels that way about me one day. One day, I mean, she already raised you, so she feel how she feel about you because you already grown. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. All right. Usually I blank without even thinking about it. So there are things that we make really difficult, and there's some things that we just kind of are on autopilot, whatever the case may be. So what's something that's like that? What is something that you don't even have to think about? It's just kind of ingrained, automatic. Whether it be something that is useful to you and helpful to you, or something that's counterproductive, at odds with what you would hope. What's something that you do without thinking about it? You don't overthink this, you just do it. And I think the more things that we have under that category that are leading us in a positive direction, probably the better. The more stuff that we have like that, the better, I would say. So let's see what we have. So Brian said, automatically asking my kids if they want anything when they go to the store. I'm about to run to we're going to the store. What y'all want? Without even thinking about it. That might be the opportunity to start. That might be your money management lesson right there. Maybe the money management lesson is a field trip. So, okay, well, this is the budget that we're going to work with for this trip to the store. So what do y'all want? And have them look at the things that they want and see how that impacts the budget. That could be your money management lesson. Because they're going to want some. I'm curious about the way if you grew up with TV as sort of your main form of entertainment and consumption as a child. So you had, whether it was Disney Channel or Nickelodeon, or before that, cartoons of, from different on Saturday morning cartoons or whatever the case may be. If you notice, they always used to advertise really heavy on those shows that are aimed at kids. There'd always be something that, and then next thing you know, you want what you see on the ads. But now I feel like young people, television is less important, is less central in the way that they consume media. So I'm wondering where they are picking up on those things that they want. Because it used to be, hey, I saw it on TV, I want this kind of cereal because I saw the commercial for this type of cereal. Now when you go in there, now I want this type of cereal. Where do they get that now? Where do companies target young people now? So yeah, I understand for toys and stuff like that, YouTube for sure. YouTube has some pretty specific advertising guidelines for stuff for kids, but do they advertise breakfast cereal on YouTube? I'm thinking more like consumer, small consumer products more than overall trends. Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Because, I'm talking about like the basics of the basic things that we wanted. Toys. I guess toys would be, there's a whole toy playthroughs and, unboxings. I know they have those. So, Alexa says, bantering with Noble is something I do without thinking about it. I have a knack for firing back when he starts something. When Noble gets to popping off, you get to clapping back. Hey, Abby, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Abby's like, hey, it's been so long. I'm just glad that you're here. And I hope that everything is going well with you and the family. Noble says, usually I wash dishes without even thinking about it. I hear you, Noble. Last week, though, you spent a whole stream trying to wash dishes. You should have thought about it sooner. If it's two of y'all and it took you 2 hours to wash your dishes, y'all over there eating 5-course meals. So maybe you need to start thinking about it sooner. Vlasios, thank you so much for the like. Man, you said if that wasn't that many dishes and it took you 2 hours to wash a handful of dishes, man, what are you doing? Sounds like if it takes you 2 hours to wash dishes for 2 people, what are you doing to those dishes? Are you polishing the silver? Man. Said, I was here too. Oh man. Okay, whatever. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Alexis says he was washing dishes while answering prompts and taking care of a sick life partner. Yeah, but 2 hours though? Oh man, you must needed some heavy tending. Like, he must have been feeding you soup, a spoonful at a time. All right. Someone anonymously says, I sleep. Usually I sleep without even thinking about it. I'm out like a light. That's the best way to sleep, because if you start to think about sleep, then it's hard to get that sleep. Thinking about sleep is one of the best ways to not get it. All right. Miss Fire says, I'm trying to think about something positive. So let's see. Hold the door open for others. That's something you just got some home training. So how do you feel about when you're holding the door open? Do you ever have regrets when you hold the door open too early? Like the person's coming, so you say, okay, let me hold the door open, but they're a little bit far away. So now you standing there. And then they don't hurry up. Cause you know how usually if you see somebody holding the door for you, you know, you at least make the move like you're trying to hurry up, even if you're not. But you holding the door open for somebody and they just feel entitled. So they just keep on taking their little sweet time. Then you end up holding the door for the whole line. Jovi's holding the door for the whole line. I guess I'm an usher now. Usher. Oh man. You be there burning. Yeah. You might as well, if you're holding the door for everybody, you might as well put one hand behind your back, put on a little white glove or something. Oh man. So someone says, usually I'm a bad B without thinking about it. Just kidding. Oh no, you said it. So I don't think you really believe. You are already anonymous, right? So why you taking it back? You already whispered it. Because you're anonymous. We don't know who you are. So why are you gonna just kidding it? Own it. If we don't know who you are, go ahead and own it. Jovi says, no, you said what you said, but really though, I mean, they hiding twice. They hiding twice. We don't know who they are, and they want to make sure in case we figure it out that we don't think that they think that. Oh man. I ain't never been with a baddie. Oh man, True Knowledge is in the building. Thank you. All right. It's all right, Brian. This is one of those types of streams where you can just listen in. You don't have to type. You know, if you're getting the vibe, I know you feel the urge sometimes to jump in the conversation, but you know, you can just hang back and listen. It's all good. All right, let's get ready to get into our next prompt. Oh man, I forgot to fix this one. This is supposed to be relieved. This is supposed to be relieved. It's an old prompt and it was a misspelling. But if it's gonna be a problem for y'all, I'll fix it. And I mean, if it's a problem, you were secretly brought back to life when. So if you want to waste your one and only opportunity in the request box to say something slick about the misspelling, please feel free to do so, but also be aware that I won't be sharing or reading it. So do what you want. You can answer the question the way it was intended, or you can try to be cute and just not be heard. You know, those are your choices. I got the blicky on me too. If you say something slick, I might just mute you. All right. I was secretly relieved when my kids didn't wake me up in the middle of the night. Well, you could be openly relieved about that. I think sometimes when we say secretly relieved, it's like, you know, maybe it was something that we committed to, and then when it gets closer, it's like, whew, I'm glad that got canceled. You said you wanted to do it, and you're like, but when it doesn't happen, you good. Like, I'm good. I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that. I think that happens a lot when we sell our future selves down the river. Yeah, plans, all plans. Jovi says, I don't really want to do nothing for real. People be wanting to make plans. I'm like, yeah. I heard someone say, when someone asks you to do something that's off in the future, people want to book you into the future or ask you to make plans in advance. You should ask yourself, would I do this tomorrow? And if the answer is no, I wouldn't do this tomorrow, say no, you don't want to do it off in the future, because that's exactly how you're going to feel. Oh man, that's exactly how you're going to feel. When that day comes, it's going to feel just like, you know. All right. Alexis Automilf says, when we went home from game night last week, the vibe was unwelcoming and I felt super awkward the whole time. We had one person to try a game with us, but I think it was more pity than niceness. So you can participate in the request box when you're muted, but leaving and coming back doesn't unshake the mutes. So let me see if I can understand. Leaving game night because the vibe wasn't right. It's like, I'm glad that's over. Miss says G doesn't want to hear what I have to say. Well, I don't have to hear what you have to say. So, if I didn't want to hear it, there's easy remedies. There's a couple remedies for sure that are at my disposal. So it seems like that's All right. Tim says, secretly I was relieved when I got muted so I could do some stuff. I ain't got to pay attention to this chat. I ain't got to manage nothing. So Noble Ancient says, I was secretly relieved when I saw Alexis in the airport when they came up to me to bring me to San Diego originally. He displayed mine but said nothing. Oh man. You displayed mine but said nothing. I mean, I know I've done this for a long time, and it's not that it's that complicated, but it is a little bit sometimes when you're looking on the back end. There's a lot of stuff going on. So sometimes it'll show that something, it won't show me that something has been shared. Or I'll get distracted by something in the chat and open one when one is already open without reading. It happens sometimes. Noble's like, well, why does it always happen to me though? But why does it always happen to me? It doesn't only happen to you, Noble. It happens to other people as well. They just don't say nothing. Oh man. They just charge it to the game. Tarot twins are here. So, was the relief at the airport, was there a little bit of a doubt that it was real, that Alexis was going to actually be there? Or just relief at the, yeah, because it was secret relief. Oh, the plane was delayed. Okay. You're like, ooh. Yeah. All right, we got one more. We got not one more. We have another prompt. If y'all are ready, let me know. Well, no, here, take it. I don't need for you to let me know. We've been on this one long enough. Marie says, when I woke up and realized it was just a dream, I was relieved. I think that's always a relief, like, whew, man. Or sometimes it's the opposite, like, oh man. I always am disappointed when I wake up from dreams about flying. All right. So here we go. Here's another question for you. If you could drop everything and focus on one thing, what would it be? What would it be? If you could drop everything and just focus on one thing, what would that be? Just for a month, not forever. This doesn't have to be your whole life. But if you could really buckle down and pour all of your energy and attention, curiosity, if you can just pour it all in one thing, what would be that high impact, meaningful activity that would be worthwhile, be worth dropping everything for if you could? So there are some things that are open-ended and ongoing. You know that, okay, this is just something every day that I have to do. This is just like an open-ended commitment. And there's some other things that could benefit from a little bit of getting a little bit of momentum and specific focus. I think it's critical at starting points and also at points of transition, I guess, to to take extra time when it's launch time, when it's time to really get it cracking. Sometimes it takes a little bit more than just a normal everyday type effort. It takes something a little special. So if I could drop everything for one thing, I would drop everything for my kids. I think you there are always seasons where that's necessary. Alexa says, I would focus on my relationship with Noble. I would spend as much time as possible with him right now. Even with Cher's days off, finding time to be together is tricky. So investing in that relationship. Noble says, I would take the month and super focus on Armistice Games and solidify its place in the industry. So make some giant leaps forward in your enterprise. I can dig that. Hi, Kitty. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Right now, we were thinking about if you could just drop everything for a month and focus, what would that look like? What would you put that energy into? So Miss Fire says, helping my crush. Thank you for the spoons. Appreciate it. So I guess that's a different way of investing in a relationship. I know that dropping everything is not a luxury that everyone has. I know that there are, in certain cases, when there's the need for transformation or intensive growth, there is sort of like this boot camp phase, where you just kind of put your head down and really get after it. That's sort of when the thing that you're trying to do is going to require of you to become something different than you are in ways, then it takes dropping everything, including the excuses, including the self-defeating thoughts. You have to kind of drop everything and assume the superhero identity that's required to do the thing that you want to do. I think the training process, like going through basic training in the army or in military, is an example of, okay, this is what's going on right now. The rest of the world really doesn't exist for you. You are here. All you can do is go through this training experience, because you have to make a lot of progress in a short period of time to transform into a soldier, to transform into the person who's fit to do what it is that we need to have you to do. Now, you're not going to get all the way there in just these 8 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever the case may be. You're not going to get all the way there at once, but it's going to give you the momentum so that once you leave this environment, you'll have hopefully some habits in place. You'll have some ways of seeing things in place that will make it so you can continue down that journey rather than going back to where you were before. All right. So we got a few more responses in the box. Let's see what we have here. So someone says, this is not ideal for an overthinker nor an overachiever. Like this prompt, we are always focused on everything all the time, maybe a month to relax at the spa, then back to it. So overthinker, I don't know if that is a badge of honor. Overachiever, I don't know if that's a badge of honor either. I don't know what you mean by overachieve. I guess sometimes when we scatter our achievements across too many different things, none of those things are as good as they could have been had we been focused on them, right? It's hard to underestimate the value of depth in any specific area. Even if you do a lot, if it's scattered out across too many different things, maybe none of them are what they could be. But that's a choice that you have to make, right? It's a scary choice to make. But it seems to me that most of the benefits kind of accrue to those who are like at the very peak. Being all right at everything, or even pretty good at everything, it'll get you a long way, especially if you're good at the intersection of a few different things. But Viral Boy says, in all honesty, are you speaking? I am speaking. I don't know. What did you think? This is a recording? No, this is me talking. Can you if you can't, so Emmy is here. Good morning, Emmy. Okay, cool. As long as you can hear me, it's cool. So our overthinking overachiever don't like the idea. It's not even a question. I think that there is sometimes a natural seasonality that kind of peaks in. Things have their natural seasons and cycles. There's a best time to do certain things, or a time that's better than others to do things. And I think this is really sort of pointing to that fact. We've become disconnected to the idea that there is a time for certain things, because we can do anything anytime. But that's sort of not the natural way that things go. You know, you can plant all you want in the winter. You can work as hard as you can planting stuff in the winter, and all of that labor is wasted because it's not time to plant. So I think looking at being able to focus on what it's time for is the big thing. Like, what is it time for other than the percolator? What else is it time for? And when it's time for that, really, let other things that could be done at another time go. So Viral Boy says, well, I think you're in the military, bro, because were you in here when I told the story about the Army? I'm not in there now, but I was. Night shifts and day naps. Can I explain myself? That's all I'm doing, Viral Boy. I don't know. All I'm doing is explaining myself. Maybe there's a different way you can ask that question that'll help me understand what you're looking for. All right. So if there is something right now that kind of deserves your undivided attention, or that it would make your life better if you could give this thing your undivided attention, there's another way to look at that question. I really appreciate everyone for continuing the likes. Kaloli the Lowly is here in the chat with the response, mental health. Viral Boy is asking, am I talking about my experience? I'm really just kind of responding to the prompts or the responses, giving a few thoughts on the things that people have shared. Some of it's from my experience. Some of it's from, just things that I've learned along the way, I guess. All right. So let's take a second. Let's take a second to revisit our poll, since we got a few more people in here. Let's see if the results are the same. Because I got keeping it 100, I got to work on the final background. So let me let y'all think about this for a second. Yeah, just go ahead and vote. See what we got here. All right. So with that, let me just take a second while we're voting on this poll. I'm going to take a second to thank each and every one of you who've watched this session over on video channels. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for session 292. I appreciate you. We're going to spend the last 15 minutes or so here in the VIP section. So y'all take care over there.